Hello. I have been patiently waiting. This cord bothers me. Let's move this behind here. As you can tell, I'm not very organized. I've been patiently waiting to open up this box. I think it's been 2 days now. I typically don't wait, by the way. I have very little self-control when it comes to my Japanese stuff. But I figured, since I have a little bit of free time today, let's open this up. I would wait to open it up to share it with all of you. First, welcome back, or welcome, if this is the first time you've stumbled upon this content or my channel. Better. I'm using this channel, really, just to document, just to share. Do I ever think this is going to be a big thing, making content? No, not really my ambition anymore. I do think discussing, engaging, and talking with people who are in the hobby is important. So if you think this is going to be one of those channels where, everything this guy does is highly produced and well edited, I hate to disappoint you. It will not be that. Well, maybe one day. Probably not. I don't have any desire to be a content creator, professional content creator, as they say. Really, I just want to do this for fun. So, we have a second shipment coming in from Bai, from Mercari. This is Japanese stuff, if you're unfamiliar. Anytime you see, this tape, these labels, these labels, that usually means the person you're watching is opening up Japanese stuff. Most of this stuff is to resell. Most of it is for the business. However, there's one thing in here that is for the personal collection that I'm extremely excited about. That, I don't buy a lot anymore for myself. I try to limit that. But there's one thing in here that breaks that rule. Look at all this packing material. It's crazy. I still don't know what I'm going to do with this. Now, the thing with Bai's packing material is one or two of these is fine, but when you have just a ton of them, it's hard to manage. I think this is it. I'm not going to have you guys wait. I'm going to get straight to it. So, again, you might have seen it. Most stuff I buy is for the business. I'm fortunate now where, I spent a lot of personal income throughout the years, and now everything I do in my cards business is, it fully funds itself. I'm not taking out any more personal money. When I sell stuff, I recoup, I pay my taxes, all that jazz. So I'm in a really fortunate spot because I don't have to worry about, am I going to spend some of my paycheck on buying cards? Through that process over the last few years, sorry, there's going to be a lot of suspense to this card because I'm really excited. I accumulate some money and I have the ability to buy things and stay liquid enough to buy things either for the collection or buy things that are highly desired and for the business. This is probably a mixture of both, but I'm happy to have this in my collection for now. This is Japanese Plasma Storm Shiny Charizard Plasmagale, and this is a super rare card. It's rare because of two things. Plasmagale in general, I think Japanese Black and White, Japanese XY, for whatever reason, I'm not gonna pretend I'm an expert and I lived those years in the Japanese market in those sets. For whatever reason, you don't find a lot of it. You don't find a lot of it on eBay. You don't find it on the Japanese sites. There's just not a lot of it out there. The second reason is this is an unlimited version. You'll notice there's no first edition stamp. And last I checked, unlimited for this was pop 80, I think. Very, very rare, low population. There are actually 0 recent solds for this. There's a recent sold for first edition, somewhere in the 3 to 4K range. I got this for a great price, and I was comfortable paying it. And this, I would say, is going into the collection for now as one of my new grails. My history of Plasma Storm, let's see. I've been in and out of the hobby since I was a kid. I actually have a video on this channel where I opened up Plasma Storm cards. I had no idea what I was doing. And yeah, I opened up a booster box and didn't pull anything good. But yeah, this is the big boy. This is going to the collection, and I'm really proud and happy to have him. But I think that's the only thing for the PC. Everything else in here, oh boy, bear with me. Actually, this is the right way to do it. Everything else in here should be for the business. No, I'm not, sorry. Let's just get this out of the way. As you can tell, I have no filter, and I'm okay being obnoxious if I have to get stuff done. This channel is not really about educating you on what I buy and sell, just to be upfront. Oftentimes, I won't even talk about the price. I'm just going to show you, here's what I do. I've already received 10 plus questions, which is pretty good for my channel my size, on, what do you buy? What do you sell? Those sorts of things. You can see exactly what I'm buying. I don't want to influence what you buy and sell. I don't want to be... I think the topic for this video, and I'll just get into it, is everybody needs their trade secrets. And, I think in this hobby, information is valuable. Information is the thing that if you have it, if you know how to get it, you'll be in great shape. What a lot of people forget, or a lot of people don't understand, is that information is free. You can pay for it. I'm subscribed to some Patreons to have access to hear what, some of the more successful people are doing. But oftentimes, a lot of what they're doing is public information. You can look at their content. You can look at their recent solds on eBay, which I don't think a lot of people know this. For any seller on eBay, their entire transaction sales history is public. You can't hide what you sell. So, I've received, oh my gosh, I've never seen a package like this. I've received some inquiries on what should I buy, what should I sell. I'm not going to help you do that research. It's something that everyone needs to go through and understand, because it's going to help you build a skill set that'll help you build your, get you to your goals. If you were asking people what to buy and sell, you've kind of already missed the point. You need to figure out how to get the information yourself and be able to obtain it quickly without relying on others to tell you. This is for resale. I got it real cheap. I have one of these in my collection, but, it's an opportunity, and I'm going to sell it at a local show. So, my point is, if you're constantly asking people for what to buy and what to sell, that is a strong indication that you currently are not utilizing the tools that everyone else has access to in order to do that homework yourself. I can tell you, for me, there's not a lot someone can tell me these days that'll make me say, I'm going to buy a bunch of that Pokemon stuff. I didn't think of that. I have my own ways to research, my own methods, albeit not exactly the most productive. And there's not a lot that happens in the hobby that catches me off guard at this point. I know what promos are coming out. I know what new Japanese stuff is coming out. I lied. This is actually personal collection. Magnezone. Level X's, I think I mentioned this before. I'm collecting level X's. I like this one. Probably because it was cheap. I will say for this I paid 75, 80? I forget. But for level X and in Japanese, English level X is getting incredibly expensive and they're really low pop. Japanese level X's are in good shape. So if you're looking, there you go. I think that's the only other thing for personal collection. Anyway, these days, there's not a lot that catches me off guard. It's because I know what platforms to look in. I know who to follow. Discords, what websites. And it's not difficult to get caught up to speed. I think the problem is people don't want to put in the work and people don't like not knowing. And I can tell you, of the people that I have engaged with, that I learned from, most of them are, I would say all of them are not using anything that's a competitive advantage that the common person who wants to get in doesn't have access to. Granted, your reputation is everything. That's why I have an Instagram account. I wanted to share, my collection, but also, help run the business. Your reputation is everything. So if you've been around the block for a bit, then you have a better shot at getting, better rates from Japanese sellers, or you're probably going to have people who follow you, who want to sell you stuff. But you have to build that, right? There's no shortcutting that, and you have to put in the effort to either build your brand, build your website, build your eBay, whatever it is. This is a lot of hollows. I don't know what's in it exactly. I'm going to do a follow-up video to go through this stuff, and condition them. There's a lot of hollows I bought for the binder for cheap. That's going into the binder that I'm going to put together for my vending event next month. So anyway, you got to keep that in mind. Everyone has their own trade secrets, but most trade secrets are not what you think. There's not a magical pill or method, or there's not a magical hack. There's not a website that everyone goes to. There's not a secret website that you can go to that if you knew the access, then you could do it too. It's not how it works. This is kind of leading the discussion that I'm talking about. Ooh, this is nice. Into sourcing. Trade secrets rather. Everyone has to have their own. If I were to share everything that I bought, where I bought it, how much I paid for it, then I'm essentially jeopardizing my own cards business, right? But I'm happy to share this stuff because, none of this is truly unique. Oh, you see that? We'll go through another video to go through all this stuff. I'm happy to do it with this stuff because, again, it's not truly unique. I think my secret sauce with this stuff, and is it really that secret? Is not. I have an outlet to sell this stuff, and I'm very confident in my ability to obtain a good margin, which these days, I'm shooting for 25+% margin, meaning if I bought something for $100, I expect to net back 125. I have my own outlets, my own people, my own contacts who will buy those hollows, some of the graded stuff, and that sort of thing. And most people, you have to build that. It's your, dude, come on, man. It's your portfolio, your contacts. This is black and white stuff. Hollows, see, no secrets here. Look, they're not even that well conditioned. They're not in a good condition, so it's not like you can't buy the same thing. The question is, how are you going to sell it? I just felt like that's an important topic to lay out there, because instead of asking, a lot of the time I think newer buyers or newer sellers, you just got to put in the work. Be okay looking dumb. Be okay asking questions. You might ask dumb questions. Like, I asked a lot of dumb questions when I first entered the hobby because I didn't know. But it's not through doing that do you learn. You have to be okay. You have to be okay not knowing, and you have to be okay with maybe asking something that is repetitive or just not a great question to ask. Sorry. All questions are good to ask. There's nothing wrong with asking complex, simple, repetitive questions. I think the problem herein lies really, did you even attempt to do the work to figure out where you can get that answer? And it's not even about receiving the answer. Again, it's about the process you put yourself through to truly learn, here's how the hobby works. Here are the tools I have at my disposal. And really, it's just about the process. It's the journey, not the end. So the other thing I just opened was a SAR Zard. As you can tell, it wasn't well centered. That is for the binder. Got it for cheap. How cheap? Well, I'm happy to share that. I paid like 60 something for that. Oh, God. This is the bad thing about buying stuff from Japan is Japanese sellers, by the way, they ship incredibly fast. However, sometimes they go overboard with like the materials they use. Like this looks like, I don't even know what kind of tape this is. I think this is some kind of compostable tape. Sometimes they go overboard with packaging and materials that they use. And, you know, I guess it's better than them just throwing these cards into like a plain white envelope. But, something you got to get used to. Just 4 of these. Again, for the binder. I think I paid $2.50 for each of these. $2.50 for each. Sell them at a show for probably 8. Maybe 8. It's pretty good. You can do the math. Again, if you have that outlet, if you have access, you can do that as well. Let's open this. So I think a lot of this stuff that I want to open is actually a Zard-based opening. I think they fill out the binder nicely. And again, in Japanese, is that a dent? No, I thought that was a dent, a crease. This stuff sells. People like it, and it's attractive. When the thing I learned when I vended last, your first page. Sorry if that's loud. Your first page has to be attractive. You have to have stuff in there that people recognize, and that's hot. And I can't tell you how many people came up to me and asked for Paldean Fates in 151. Nobody asked for Shining Fates, Hidden Fates. Really, it was just about the mega modern stuff. So I think there's pretty good opportunity with the Japanese modern stuff, because I do think there's an audience that if they can't get English modern, they'll settle for Japanese modern. Let's see. I won't go through all of this, but I think this is a lot of different, vintage for the binder, people to peruse through. I didn't even know they made these kind of sleeves. What is this? If you are unsatisfied with my quad shots, I'm sorry. There's not a better camera angle for me. I'm wearing a body cam. Something I bought just to use to record around the house with the baby. And there's bro, really? There's only so much that leg I can remove from the shot. Ugh. Dude, do you see how that was packaged? God. So I think it was lightly taped to a piece of cardboard. Still looks good. And then the cardboard got separated from it. All right. Let's see. I'm actually excited for the big box because I know exactly what's in it. It is a big collection that I bought. I won't spoil it. The conditions will vary, but I think I will make out well on when I piece it out and sell it at the show and to other people. And that's risk, right? I'm okay taking on that risk, and it's work. Oh, another one. It's work, but I have a strategy. I'm confident in that strategy, and I can take on that risk and spend that money, this money, and hopefully make out. Oh. I get a lot of questions. By a lot of questions, I mean I've received about 10 questions on the same topic. As I mentioned before, what do I buy? What do I sell? No one can really tell you what to buy because it really depends on how much money you're starting with, how fast do you want money to return, what's your expectations, what are your expectations for that money, and honestly, are you okay sitting and waiting? Time is an extremely valuable asset in this space. The longer you wait, typically, for sealed, for example, the better it'll do. However, can most people wait that long for sealed to appreciate? Dude, look at this mess. I don't think most people can, right? You hear a lot of these mega modern fanboys, which, I'm not dogging on them, but if you bought a ton of Scarlet and Violet, right? We still haven't gotten to the point where a lot of Sword and Shield sets have hit 180, 200, even doubled. Think what? Chilling Reign came out 3 years ago? Yeah, 3 years ago. And it's just now hitting 180? So you essentially have sat on something you bought for, let's pretend you bought it at a modest, back then you could buy it for like 80, but not everywhere. I would say, let's just say you bought it for 90. 93 all in after taxes and shipping and that kind of thing. You waited 3 years for your sealed to double in money. I can tell you, with some hustle, you can double your money. That's the amount of money in, might not sound impressive, but a month flipping, 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Depends on shipping times and what you're buying, where you're sourcing. But it's not hard to double your money. It takes effort. And the modern sealed investor, dude, look at how they package this. The modern sealed investor, I hate that term so much, investor. Are those people actually investors? I'm curious. Maybe that's the video I get into next. When people say investing, do they actually know what they're talking about? I don't think so. I think there's a difference between investing and long-term flipping. And I think a lot of people don't approach it as, here's the money I have available to invest. I'm going to invest into Pokemon cards. I think a lot of people say, here's the only money I have, period. Here's what I'm going to do with that money. And that's a dangerous game to play because, I'll tell you a story. If you need money, if you have expenses and your money is held up and tied up with sealed product that's going to take another 3 years to appreciate, you are doomed. You are not in good shape. You're likely going to have to sell that before. I'm not happy how they package this, but whatever. You're likely going to have to sell that just so you have some capital, some money to work with. I got a sad story. I think I mentioned it before. Oh, yeah. Hold on, that's a very clean card. So this is Neo Genesis rather. Okay, this is not what we want to look at though. Did I mention this before? I think I did. There was a guy I was doing a deal with, and we spent weeks negotiating and talking. And it wasn't towards the end that he told me, hey, I really I really shouldn't be doing this deal or whatever because I have family. My family needs money or whatever. I got to fix my mom's stuff. And at that point, for me, just morally, I had to stop. I had to kill the deal. Because it's one thing to like get a good deal for someone. But when you understand someone's circumstances and like they're telling you all this stuff and you know the right thing is to lead them to a better path, a better decision, I would take that high road every day. Because I wouldn't be able to live with myself. And also, it means way more to me. Pillow swine. To help someone else out so they can learn, then that's probably what light played. Then to make a quick buck. So there are a bunch of hollows in here. It's not the hollows that I'm looking at. Not these hollows, at least. I don't like how they just whatever. It is what it is. Sometimes this is how it's done. Ooh. I think this comes from a deck, right? Ooh. See, this got some good stuff in here. This comes from a deck, I think. See, some of this vintage stuff I'm not an expert in. Vending series. I'm not a super expert in. I followed it enough. Ooh. But yeah, I mean, growing up, Wizards of the Coast stuff, I remember Wizards of the Coast. I stopped collecting and playing really after Jungle or Fossil, whichever one came first. Before Team Rocket, for sure. And, you know, anything after that, I kind of got into as I got older, you know. So I'm very familiar with this card, for example. I really need to sleeve this stuff, but we'll go through it in another video. Oh, okay, this is actually pretty good. A lot of this should be near mint, based on the pictures, but you never know. Be forewarned, if you like Japanese... Oh, yes. Yes. I didn't realize this is in here. Ready? Oh, trade, please. Oh, my God. I did not realize this is in here. This is a trade please promo. And on the back, oh my gosh. 1 swirl, 2 swirl, 3 swirl, 4 swirl. Holy crap. I'm so excited. I did not realize this is in here. It's the only card where the back... I'm actually going to put this over here right now and sleeve it. Thank you. Oh, shit. Good thing those are non-hollows. Oh, some of them were hollows. Fair warning. Bai and Mercari have very little protection. I think you get better protection on Mercari, so listings. If you buy things just like, you know, CCG player, right? Or our version of Mercari. If you buy listings and you get the protection, they check the package. The protection is 500 yen. They check the package once it arrives to them to ensure that what you paid for is what you got. They do not, however, I believe, check for if what you paid for is what you got and it meets the conditions of what you paid for. So, for example, if I paid for this card in the listing and I had the insurance or whatever on Mercari, they'll open up the package to make sure it's there. But if I get this card and it's damaged, I believe it comes down to the case. Like, you have to tell them, like, hey, this is what I paid for. You know, this is what I got. And it's up to them to decide if they want to intervene or not. That's for listings. Okay, let me get into non-listings, Yahoo auctions. I've had 2 or 3 times now where I've won an auction. The seller has sent me something either entirely different or sort of different than what they've listed. I've taken screenshots. I actually made a PowerPoint presentation once. This is damaged. I've taken screenshots. I pointed it out, before and after pictures. And Bai basically said, tough luck, you know, they're not responsible. Look at that. They're not responsible. They're not going to get involved. Fossil. These are probably closer to light played. Yeah. I'm so excited to go through this later. Tropical islands? Southern islands? So cool. I'm so excited. This is the bad thing about being a business owner and collector. You come across a lot of stuff like this, you get lucky. I think I'm getting a little lucky. However, sometimes you don't, and you got to look at everything as money that you spent. How are you going to get it back? Oh, I know what's on the bottom of this. Base set Zard. This is probably like an 8 based on the pit. No. 7, maybe? Okay, I need to put this aside. Some of this stuff I just cannot handle without sleeves on it. It drives me insane. Look at that bad damage. Ooh, this Typhlosion. Look at that double half swirl double. I'm in heaven. Look at that, another double half swirl, or a swirl and a half. Oh. Just leave him. Sorry, I'm geeking out. I'm just so excited. Oh, this is like the third Vaporeon. A lot of this stuff is already claimed or going to be sold, so I can only appreciate them so much. In Japanese, this Mew comes in the fossil set. It's a little bit different than in English. Haunter, Hollows. Oh, I'm a happy boy. Third Dragonite. Ooh. Okay. Well, I'm going to condition a lot of these. Oh my gosh. I shouldn't be surprised because I bid on this in one, so I don't know why I'm geeking out. It just feels so good to see these in person. Ooh. This is the theme deck. Or this is the something deck, and this is the CD promo. Oh, Blasty boy. Oh, I gotta check this one out. Scratches on the back. And then the Zards. I would say general condition of these is probably 7, maybe 8. Look how this one looks fake. 7 or 8. So, you know, I don't think there's a lot here that I can grade and flip. Maybe the Zards. But we'll see. I'll go through it in another video to the T, and we'll see what's going on. Okay, that's that stack. I think this is just all bulk. I don't recall there being that much bulk actually, like raw card, commons and uncommons, but I could be wrong. I do know the top cards are the main reason why I bought this. Okay. Man, their packing is something else, huh? Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna grab a random stash, just like this. Yep. Commons and uncommons, random stuff. E-Series. That's good. That's always good to see. E-Series sells incredibly well. People love it. I think it's probably the most E-Series and Gym, from what I've found and asked around, are the most desirable vintage Japanese stuff. You just don't see a lot of it, and it's cheap, especially in PSA 10s, but the raw cards as well. People like them. I didn't really grow up with E-Series, so my appreciation is really only because everyone else talks about it. But I can see why. Okay. You know what? I'm going to reserve the rest of this for when we go in condition. So, hate to cut it short, but I got a lot of work to do here. And you know what? Let's keep going. Just a little bit more. For the tube. at you. This is great. Oh, wrecked. Okay, well, I lied. That's it. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Comments, questions, leave them below. I'm happy to help where I can. And if you have any thoughts about, everyone has their own trade skill, maybe that's what I'll title this video. Yeah, I think that's a good one. I think the follow-up video here for me is to go and condition everything. So I'll set up my overhead camera. That'll be a nice long video where we can just talk about whatever. If you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me down below. Check out my eBay store. But yeah, thanks for all the support. Comments, questions, let me know. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.